pleasantly surprised to see so many people here today, but I am grateful that you are here. I'm unavailable to respond to your questions, as long as there is order in asking the questions. So I'm open.
Yeah. Can we start from the punch, then thereafter we take channels and we also take more.
Okay?
The punch, please.
Yes. Thank you.
Recently, ASU declared you being a persona non grata. So, what would you react to it? What do you have to say about it?
You know, I am a product of the law. And I only follow the law. I avoid rabble-rousing. Under Nigerian laws, nobody can prevent any other person from going to any place. It's guaranteed under the Constitution. So you cannot say you have declared somebody persona non grata and it should not come to a particular premises. So I never took it seriously. The second point is that it is clear under the labor laws of Nigeria that you cannot physically restrain anybody during a labor dispute. What you are allowed to do is to picket. And picketing means you are there, you are campaigning, but you cannot physically restrain anybody. So all I would like to say is that ASU should consult its legal advisors to see whether this is feasible.
The channels.
Okay, sir. Well, the council made appointments, but ASU rejected his appointment. ASU and the Senate of the school rejected their appointment and also rejected the sack of the Vice Chancellor. How do you react to it?
Well, I preface this statement that I am a product of law. The Senate did not have a meeting because it could not have had one. The authority to call a Senate meeting is the Vice Chancellor. And at the time he purported to call the meeting, he was no longer Vice Chancellor. So whatever statements were made are simply comments from a debating society, not a Senate meeting.
But a follow-up to that, since you say you're a product of the law,
Yes.
the law has it that before a Vice Chancellor can be removed, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yes.
the council is to appoint a subcommittee in where there are cases of infractions and all of that. Now, was a subcommittee appointed or put together? And if that is so or not so, does the council have the powers to subsume the subcommittee and act on the committee that has not submitted the report?
Very intelligent question, but obviously you have a wrong narrative. Let me start. Whatever a subcommittee can do, the larger body can do it. Because the subcommittee is only an agent of the larger body. Let me give you an example. If you want to confirm an appointment in the Senate today, usually it goes to a committee of the Senate, and then they bring it to the floor of the Senate. But the Senate as a whole can decide to take the matter without even going through any subcommittee, and it will be valid in law. I think the confusion is that most of the people don't know what the powers of the council is vis-a-vis the removal of the Vice Chancellor. I assure you that there was full compliance with the law in the removal of the Vice Chancellor. And if you go and read that law very well, you will see how it can be done appropriately. And if after then you have questions, I will answer.
Finally, sir.
Yes.
Both of you are alumnus of UNILAG.
Yes.
Now, this is the first time in a long while any school in Nigeria will have both the Pro-Chancellor and the Vice-Chancellor being alumni of the institution. Were there other avenues to have resolved some of the issues that are believed to have caused the removal of the VC here?
The issues have been lingering on for a long time. First, let me commend the members of the council nominated by the federal government, the members of the council nominated by convocation, the members of the council nominated by the congregation. I don't think you can find a better selection of selfless and determined personalities who want the best for the university. Series of attempts were made to reconcile. But the plain truth is that Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe has been looting the university and looting it recklessly. That's the plain truth. We shouldn't hide in saying this. There is misappropriation and there is direct looting of the university. And all attempts were made to put an end to this. Are you aware that Professor Ogundipe was indicted for forging documents in the lifetime of this council? Are you aware? You are not.
Sir, can you be specific?
Yes, I will tell you. Under the laws of the council, the university, it is the Vice-Chancellor that chairs the committee for appointing certain cadre of personnel. So there was an interview for the position of Director of Works in the university. He chaired the committee. There were 2 external members. That means those from outside in the committee. Some person from Lagos Polytechnic came first in the interview. He was then told to go and collate the interviews. He came back and I changed the name to another person. Unknown to him, 2 of the members had photographed the raw results. And that was how we were able to rescue the situation and stop the process. And we brought a Director of Works through another process. Let me say to you, the person nominated by Ogundipe had been indicted in 2 committee reports. One of it was Professor Fogam's report that said that this person should never occupy a position of authority. So he has consistently tried to bring very shady people into the university, and we have resisted. There is no crisis in UNILAG. There is no crisis in UNILAG. What you have is a silent, a vocal minority benefiting extensively.
Yeah, vocal minority, that's where it's talking.
Yes, there is a vocal minority who are benefiting from the corruption of the university, which has become cultural, and we are determined to stop it. And that is what this resistance is about. All the hype you see are just for the media. If you have a secret ballot in the University of Lagos today, you will discover that this management has been completely discredited. Yes?
Narrator?
So, sir, the Senate is alleging that due process was not followed in the removal of the VC, and now there's a new nominee or new VC that has been brought in,
An acting VC.
an acting VC that has been brought in. Was due process followed in removing Professor Willie?
First of all, due process was followed. But there was no Senate. That meeting was not a meeting of Senate. It was just a meeting of some professors. Because under the law, only a vice chancellor who is in office or somebody duly authorized can call a Senate meeting. It is not a meeting you call at your discretion. So it's not a meeting you call without following the law. So there was no Senate meeting. So I will not answer any questions from that Senate meeting, because then I will be confirming or supporting maladministration.
Yeah, sir, follow up. There's a sitting DVC. Don't expect that the DVC will be considered as the acting Vice Chancellor. What happens?
I'm happy about this very intelligent questions. There is no sitting DVC. Professor Sholashade Ogunshola and Professor Ben Ogujafo have not been confirmed as DVCs by the council. So, in law, they are not DVCs. Thank you.
Why all of this is ongoing, sir?
All of this.
Why all of this is ongoing?
One by one. I'm here, just one by one.
Let's take that.
Why all of this is ongoing, sir? At what point are you interfacing with the Ministry of Education such that you are on the same page on the reform that the council is carrying out to project a better University of Lagos? Because it does appear as if the Ministry of Education and the Governing Council of UNILAG are not articulating issues on the same platform.
Well, I don't agree with you. I've not heard anything from the Ministry of Education that is different from what we're doing. The only comment I heard from the Ministry of Education is that whoever has the right to hire has the right to fire, but they should follow due process. That's all. The ministry has not made any statement that is contradictory.
But still on the ministry, have you duly briefed the ministry, which is
Like in letter.
Well, I can assure you I've done the appropriate thing.
Sir, the unions yesterday
Sorry, please,
insisted.
you.
Okay. Sorry, the question I want to answer. Are there any time in this course of this removal, most or all the allegation leveled against him, that he was called for defense? Is there anything also, sir?
Council investigated the finances of the council. It sent the report to all those affected. Professor Budike wrote his defense to the allegations. I think it was submitted on May 13 or March 13. I will supply it to you later. I'm not sure of the date, and I hate being inaccurate. Then he spoke for 1 hour in his defense. He had all opportunities of fair hearing under the law. So I'm surprised at the propaganda that is being in the media.
Yes, madam.
Sir, secondly, when it came to what transpired, the members of Senate that are represented on the council claimed that there was a discrepancy in the voting process, that it was secret ballot, what happened, what they voted wasn't what came out. So could you please give your own side of what transpired during the vote?
You have asked many questions. The first is that there was due process. And what I will advise you to do is to go and read the law. And when you read it, I'll be available for questions. Because without reading the law, if I'm now just reading out sections, you may not be able to follow the trend of thought. But due process was followed, and it was done in accordance with the laws of UNILAG. Under the guidelines of University of Lagos, voting is either in secret or in the open. We agreed to have a secret ballot, as we have always had when there are contentious issues. The votes were counted, and they were not just votes. Everybody wrote their own comment. It wasn't just votes. They didn't only vote, they wrote their comments. And I read out all the comments to everybody, and nobody said there that their own comments had not been read. So this allegation is an afterthought by people who are not given to telling the truth.
Okay, we can move to the Chancellor.
No. Education today.
Okay, now where lies the solution now? The VC has they removed VC has actually taken it to court. He said the removal breach all no due process, and also it was a contravention of Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution, according to the legal document I cited. Where lies the solution at the point?
You know, I have told you repeatedly that I follow the law. Go and read the law. What the law says is that when a vice chancellor is removed and he wants to complain, he will write an appeal to the visitor. He will write an appeal to the visitor. He cannot on his own declare that he has not been removed, as Ogudipe has tried to do. He cannot on his own decide to confront his employer. He cannot, while still in office, institute an action against his employer. In law, apart from being removed, he has impliedly resigned. Because if you challenge your employer and you are still in his employment, you've actually left. So I think the weakness of Ogudipe is that his legal advisors have not done a very thorough job. He needs to go and read the law properly. Everything is done post-removal is a fraud and against the law.
So currently, that seems to be a kind of a stalemate.
There is no stalemate.
Because there are a lot of agreements and disagreements.
There-
People are on the other side, or on the side of the Vice Chancellor. And, many people are saying that he has not been removed. So how are you going to settle it so that there won't be chaos in the university?
There is no chaos. The law will take its turn. I've just told you that it is not in the place of a removed VC to say he has not been removed. It cannot be a judge in his own court.
I wonder if we can take 2 steps back. You mentioned allegations of looting. Are you able to give us any more specifics on that? And then in the interest of taking 2 steps forward, what happens now? What happens next in this process?
Okay. One of the things that was found in the committee report is that without mentioning to anybody, without any approval, Tony Ogundipe spent 49 million renovating his house.
Which house?
The Vice Chancellor's house. Under the process, this has to be done with approval from the council. This has to be done with approval from the council. He sought no approval. Now, to cover up, he now also gave the bossa 41 million to renovate his own house. His university house. The official residence. The official residence of the bossa today can be built for 41 million from scratch. That was what he spent on renovation. Then, The investigation found that he exceeded his authority recklessly in financial management. Let me tell you, you may not believe it. Ogundipe was paying security votes in UNILAG. Security votes in UNILAG. Ogundipe was paying it.
To who, sir?
To the Dean of Student Affairs. He was paying him security vote without anybody authorizing it. Is he a governor? Where does he find security votes from? They may tell you that the Vice Chancellor has not, the Pro Chancellor has not passed the budget, or the Council has not passed the budget. The budget of University of Lagos is not a true and fair account of the expenses of the university. It's been a battle. Till now, the budget of the university is not a fair reflection of the accounts of the university. Let me shock you more. When we got there, we discovered that the accounts of the university were in tatters and could not be put together by the university. A member of council paid money to bring in a consultant to look at the accounts and make them presentable. What he reported was disturbing, that the accounts of the university really don't exist. There is a report by Professor Molenyiwa, a professor of public accounts, on the internally generated accounts of the university. I read the full report. At a stage, I thought my head was going to burst, because everything that was in that report was that the IGUs were badly managed. So, gentlemen, the resistance you are seeing is that a group of people have decided to do right. And there is a set of people who don't want the place turned around. You know, in all the allegations they've made against me, have they told you that I've collected a kobo? No. Because when I got there, I told them I wasn't here to collect any money. I don't collect sitting allowance.
But you say you give money to the department.
Yes, I don't collect sitting allowance. I don't collect travel allowance. I don't collect any money from the university. And I was giving a lot of money to the university until I discovered that the problem of the university was not money, but mismanagement. The problem of the university was not money, but mismanagement. My faculty, I gave 500,000 every month. I stopped in the 27th month when I discovered that the problem of the university was not money, but gross mismanagement.
Sir.
Yes?
Okay, all the unions in the universities have declared their support for Professor Ogundipe. And then how do you intend to work with the union and so that they don't make your council ungovernable?
Who told you they have declared their support? Who told you? Because a few people signed a document. Who told you? Who told you? Even the Senate meeting they called, how many people attended?
88.
What is the number of members of Senate?
They said it's not more than 1/3.
3 or so.
Pardon?
262 or so.
It's more than that, but I don't want to
But they
mention the
had
figure.
Over a third, the quorum. They had a quorum to form the meeting.
Well, I would not argue with that because I don't know what their quorum is. I don't have their figures, but I was informed that the meeting was not attended. But why should I even talk about the meeting? There was no meeting. There was no meeting. There was nobody who could have called a meeting. Yes?
Sorry, sir. I want to ask, you are a product of the university.
Yes.
Let's not deny the fact that this crisis has just worsened. Here is the interest of the students that are feeling embarrassed by this development.
That is what we are fighting for. It's the interest of the students we are fighting for. When the management submitted budget to me, the amount of money allocated for direct teaching and facilities was about 1/4 of the amount of money allocated for a cleaning contract. So the university spends more on cleaning than on direct teaching. I screamed when I saw it. Then I said, how can you allocate some meager figure for supporting students, and you are allocating massive figures for expenditures that are not related to scholarship? I don't subscribe to the fact that the unions are with the non-academic unions are with the university. I don't subscribe to it. I know that there is a silent majority that once these things are sorted out, the university will move forward. I want to repeat my compliments for the council members appointed by the federal government. You can't get a better set of people.
Sorry, a follow-up.
Yes.
We take just two more, please.
A follow-up, sir. From the document that you try to investigate the PC on, it is from 2017 when he was still the vice
current COVID-19 pandemic,
it is only him that
certain
found
guidelines are to be strictly complied with by all passengers and airport users. Kindly adhere to guidelines as directed by the Airport Duty Officers.
something like 2
Stay
million,
safe, travel
less than
safe.
2 million or
Thank
something
you.
like that. That you are likely to also be talking as regard that when the other one is being inflated. So how will you try to justify the issue of from 2017 up to date financial transaction when the man was not even the free PC?
If I remember, the mandate we gave to the council committee was from when we became members of council. So they will look at it. I think we were members of council for about 6 months before he came in. So they will look at the 6 months before, and they will look at the subsequent ones. And he wasn't the only one indicted there. Yes, I will. What do you, so you mean you guys have not read the report and you are joining them in commenting?
That is why we have
You've not read the report?
Can you give us a copy here?
That's why we are asking.
I don't have it here, but if you have a representative,
Before we do that,
I'll get a copy for you. You haven't read the report?
I've read the report.
You have? Uh-huh. And that is just, the report is less than 6% of Tony Ogudipe's atrocities.
no, sir, you know how many people were there?
Well, I won't know it offered, and as a lawyer, I must always be accurate.
Okay, what is his approval limit? You know, the vice chancellors have approval limit. He said he spent 45, so his approval limit.
The vice chancellor, by convention, for certain things, cannot exceed 2.5 million. But for certain other things, if you've obtained prior approval, he can spend the money.
Attention, please. Just right, please. RFF YW3.
How do we reconcile everything?
I